and family.
Hi guys, how are you doing today? All right, perfect. I thought we were going one after one. All right, we're coming live from the city of
Ottawa.
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 Ottawa. All right, and we had an amazing. First of all, we had an amazing seminar today. I hope you guys have seen the post stories, the flyers and everything. We had an amazing folks all over from Ottawa who joined us today at today's morning for a seminar. We didn't have an amazing time, but because of time restrictions we had to wrap up the whole session really quick. But we did have a lot of people who joined in and had like a lot of questions, and we thought, you know what, it's a beautiful day and it's a rainy day. We wanted to go explore, see the things outside, but it's a rainy day and we're kind of stuck home. So why don't we just
Second
go
hotel.
stuck at the hotel? So why don't we just go live instead and answer those questions? So we are here live. So guys, if you have any questions, if you have even as well, we also want to discuss about the new policies which even came out. I don't know if it was a big news, but we just got to know that the AIP has been temporarily closed or paused for a while. So big news on that as well. A couple of questions on that. So let's go one by one. We're gonna go one by one. I do have a couple of questions, Vishnu, that remember we put it up during the seminar. I can go a couple of questions from there. We do have ones which said, let's go. So Vishnu, you had mentioned in the this thing that vacation is considered. You remember, like when you were explaining, like you can give a brief, like a background to them as well when you're explaining the question. But yeah, you had mentioned that the vacation is considered as an unemployment. Is it also applied for paid time off?
Yes. Any sort of unpaid employment period or paid employment period where you're not working properly, that considered as a unemployment. Unfortunately, you cannot able to claim point for that. So for example, if you are taking 1 week of vacation, that's fine. Even it is paid, unpaid, that's fine. But when it goes for more than 2 weeks, now there is an issue comes that, okay, whether you can able to claim a point for the whole month. Unfortunately, you cannot. And due to that, even it is paid or unpaid, if it is vacation pay, even it is any other sort of like time period, you cannot able to redeem point for that.
All right. We have another question which says, can we include Canadian work experience? Do we base the knock code of the job on the job title or the job description, meaning task and responsibility? Like if you're a healthcare administrator by title, does the task of healthcare worker go along with the same as a healthcare administrator?
So it's a nice question. I think that guy already spoke to
We already
me
had it.
outside,
Yeah.
but the point is, healthcare administrator is something which is not coming under those knock codes which are under the category based express entry draw. So unfortunately, the healthcare administrator, even though you try to match as much as possible, unfortunately, it's not gonna come under any direct healthcare related NOC code which are in knock care.
Okay. All right. So we have another one which says, so you said work experience from back home is counted. If I work from home in a company outside Canada while continuing my current job here in Canada, will that increase my CRS score?
Yes. So this is something which I wanted to explain during the seminar. Didn't get time for that. But
I'm sorry.
no issues. But now let me just make it very clear. So as per the new CIC regulation, it says that even if you are well working in Canada while you are on a study permit inside Canada, if you are working outside Canada for any number like any employer which fall under the knock code fall under tier 0123, you can able to claim the point for that, which is around like 26 point to 50 points for the foreign work experience. So that is one of the very good thing which we had recently policy change and everything, where it has a positive impact to boost the CRS points.
Okay, Vishnu. So I believe you saw this whole news about the AIP is temporarily closed for this year. Can you tell me what's your take on that?
So AIP, it was very expected like this, because already like last year itself when the AIP was going to be launched for this year announced, they already mentioned it very clearly that the quota, the number of application for 2025 was almost reduced to half of it. And when we are looking into 8,000 or 10,000 applications, literally it's not huge application while comparing the applicants or the individuals who are already in the like in that particular province. So once in February it is open, it's already been 2 months almost. Yes, the time is when we I was assuming that it should be closed a little bit early, but at least it is closed now. Now all other applicants who wanted to get through from AIP may need to wait for next year because 2025 is permanently closed. Now it will only open in 2026.
Okay, all right. We have another question. I got the work permit in June 2024 and have a work experience for 9 months as an engineering manager. I completed master's degree in Canada and already applied in international student stream and master's stream. Still, there is no draw. So the question is, when can I apply for express entry, and need to know what are the streams that that person is eligible for.
It's a very wide question,
Yeah.
but again, if he has 9 months of experience, complete one more, like 3 more months of experience, so that you will be qualified into the express entry. If you already created a profile under the international student or any other sort of non-express entry based PNP, now it depends upon your points. So for example, if you are created a profile under the international student job offer stream, you should look into that. Like if your score is more than 80, yes, you do have a good probability of getting the invitation from the PNP side. But again, nowadays what's happening, everyone has no, there is no CC draw, there is no PNP draws, there is no much in immigration is going around. So I would say yes, you can go with international student. You can hopefully, I believe your score is like more than 80 or around 80, good with that. But also in next 3 months, try to create an express entry profile, and with that try to improve your IELTS score so that your average score, if you have degree, he has degree,
Masters.
he has masters, perfect. So if you have masters, do your CLB 9, get a 1 year of experience from Canada. Even though you don't have any experience from back home, still you will be sitting around 470, 74, 75 points. Plus, if you have 1 year of online experience, or if you have at least like previous 1 year of experience with you, you are sitting around a golden score of 512 plus points, which is a really good score.
Okay, back to the AIP. So you told that AIP is because it's got to temporarily because it's the whole quota is filled for this year, right? Now, what is it? Is it applicable for all the jobs or all the job titles, or is it like any particular categories, like how it came for the food sector? Is it similar to that? Like it's only for a certain number of like applicants, or is it for everyone who are coming under AIP?
So there are three different streams of AIPs there. AIP for international student, AIP for foreign worker, and AIP for the high skilled worker. So now if you look into all three, mostly the news which is published is very clear that for 2025, New Brunswick paused the AIP stream. So that technically means all the AIP streams technically has a number of applications reached that limit. So now it is closed for this entire year. It will open only by next year, 2026.
So what about ones or people who have an existing application currently that's ongoing right now?
So now the point is, in the AIP, it's nothing like that. So in AIP, like if you have qualified, your employer has to do the endorsement,
Okay.
which technically take 1 month to 4 months to get the endorsement.
Okay.
If someone submitted an application for endorsement, done. So they are safe.
Okay.
But once, if you are preparing yourself to get the endorsement and it is not done yet, that means now you cannot do it for this year. You have to wait for the next year.
Okay.
Once you submitted your application for endorsement, you are safe because now application reached to its limit. Whenever the decision will come, then you can able to apply for a PR.
Okay, that's good. Going to the next question, we have my current score is 486. I have a master's in Canada, CLB 9, 2 years of foreign work experience, but zero in Canadian experience, and currently on PGWP. Should I create a profile now, or is it recommended after gaining 1 year of Canadian experience?
Nice question. So now, with the profile which I'm seeing in front of me, technically, you may need 1 more year of experience. Because if you have at least like 3 years of experience from back home, yes, you could have created a profile. But even trying to create a profile with 2 years of experience and masters and everything, unfortunately, you might be, if you're able to get qualified, first of all, eligible for the express entry, then still you're sitting around 440 or 430 points around, which everyone knows that it's not a good score. So if you can, like that, to this particular individual, I would say if you can able to like start online experience so that you can have a one more year of experience, so then you accumulate 3 years of experience, you have masters, you're studying in Canada, then you can able to create a profile. Or you should try to complete your, like already you are on a postgrad work permit, so you should try to get at least 1 year of Canadian work experience, try to score CLB 9. With that, if you create a profile, you are sitting around 512, 510 to 515 points in between, depending upon your CELPIP or IELTS or PT score. So that would be my personal recommendation. 1 year of experience either within Canada or from outside Canada to get qualified.
Okay. As LMI points is taken out, and we even had a discussion on it today as well, is there any chance that the CEC draws are going to get dropped, or is there any chance that the upcoming election can impact on this current draws?
Okay, so very good question. Now, yes, because now LMI is removed, the number of applicants whose score was more than 500 definitely decreased. But now, right now, we are noticing that there is no draw happening, and there is no like PNP draw and everything. This is all also because of the political reasons that recently the PM is changed. Now the election is gonna come. There are a lot of things going in the background. But if your score is more than 500, I would say it's just a matter of fact that once CEC resume, maybe take around 2 to 3 draws, you can expect the invitation if your CRS point is more than 500.
Okay. All right. Next question is, I completed 12th in India and I'm right now doing my diploma in computer science systems technicians networking, which is 2 year program. I don't have any experience in this field. Could you help me which pathway would be best for especially people even in like STEM category right now that STEM is being taken out? What are the next options like right now?
Okay, so uh, he came after or she came after 12th. So now the most important thing about that is, unfortunately, for any kind of PR, PNP, AIP, RNIP, you go through any kind of process. The most important thing is that you need to have an experience. So if someone come after 12, doesn't matter what is your background of study or something, you first of all need to have somewhere around 6 to 12 months of experience, depending upon if you're going with the PNP, you're going with AIP, or you're going with express entry. But anyone and everyone who come after 12th, I always recommend them one thing, that try to find a good employer. So it doesn't need to be in Ontario, it doesn't need to be in Nova Scotia. It can be anywhere across Canada. If you find a good employer, then I would say through that you can attain a PR, especially if you came after 12th. Definitely you need employer support to get a PR in an easier way.
That's amazing. We have a question from George Thomas who's joined in live. He's asked, guys, when will the Ontario draw resume? Any ideas?
I'm also waiting for the same answer from the immigration right now.
A lot of people are.
Because right now, like I said, like
Yeah.
except the immigration minister and except I believe the prime minister,
And people who are like PR and say citizens over here.
everyone is waiting for this particular answer, and it's again, no one knows about it. We all are waiting for it, but I hope that once we are near to the election, the Liberal Party definitely do something positive to make immigration easy so that they can win the election. Because I'm telling you this from my previous observation in 2021 election. Before that, suddenly they started a 75 draws, 385 draws. Yes, that was a disaster because that gave PR to a lot of individuals who do not even able to speak English. But I believe at least this time, if the current government do any such initiative where at least those individuals who deserve to get a PR, they're sitting around a good score of around 500, CEC draw, if even it start, I believe the Liberal Party will be having the votes through the votes from the immigrants
Support,
also.
yeah.
Because right now, yeah, maybe Canadians are a little bit supportive, but when we are looking into immigrants, everyone is against the Liberal Party in this part. But yeah, something making the immigration pathway clear and more organized will definitely boost their vote bank.
All right, Vishnu, you being a part of like the whole Canadian system, just out of curiosity, now you said like the immigrants can vote. Can actually the immigrants also vote for the future party?
Yeah. So it's like again when you become a citizen.
Okay.
So now, for example, now an individual who came to Canada, like for example, got a PR in 2021, okay, tier 2 PR pathway. In next 2 years, that is in 2023, that particular individual might have already qualified to apply for a citizenship.
Okay.
So by 2024 or 2025, now that particular individual who received a PR through tier 2 PR is already might be a citizen.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So they have to be either a citizen or like a PR, right?
No, citizen.
So you need to be a citizen to vote, right? Oh, okay.
So citizens can vote, but the
Okay.
point is, it's a group. So for example, if I am a citizen, and now if I'm looking into the immigration pathway and I'm seeing that no, the current government is not doing anything, and they are only supportive towards the refugee, towards the other, like those individuals who are not contributing to Canadian economy, but they're trying to take out of Canadian economy.
True.
People believe that no, this is the Liberal Party's biggest like loophole or like that soft corner what they are doing for their vote bank, and that's why majority of individuals are like who used to support Liberal Party now moving to the Conservative Party, because again Conservative have a very clear vision about supporting Canadians, Canadian business, and making Canada more quality living.
Gotcha.
So once again, like there is a different ideas there. Those who understand it, they support different parties.
Okay. All right. Hopefully, we're all expecting George, like we're all expecting a draw to come out soon. All right, going to Pre, she has asked, I've applied for the home care pilot program initially, and my receipt was paid by her lawyer, who had kept the application.
Could not submit.
Who had paid for the application, but could not submit the application. Now the receipt mentions the lawyer's name, so she is concerned. After that, when she kept the application, she had mentioned that person's payment details. So is that gonna affect the application, or like she didn't use any rep form, but the payment is with his name, you know?
Pre, I would like to refrain myself by giving comment on this, because again you're already working with a legal representative. I would say talk to the particular individual, because now there's two things going on. First, like he tried to apply, he cannot submit, and then I believe you submitted by yourself, but what all documents submitted, how it is submitted, the payment receipt, it's always better not to take advice from third party who don't know about your application. If you paid someone, definitely that particular individual might be knowing about your file, and it's a legal representative like a lawyer, it is there. So you should ask the person directly. He or she may able to get a direct answer. I don't want it to give you partial information and put you in stress level without knowing your background. Sorry for that.
All right. Kushi has a question for you, Vishnu. She has asked, my fiance applied PR in master's stream. He got his invitation and biometrics done in February. Now medical is pending in his case. If we do court marriage, then when do we need to raise a web form? Because of this, will the process even get delayed?
Okay, so Khushi, congratulations. If you're planning to get married, definitely you can get married anytime you want. Just one thing, once you get married, that is not the time when you need to inform the CIC. Try to do one thing, that is, once you get married, you get a marriage certificate. And with that marriage certificate, you need to inform the CIC that yes, the relationship of the primary applicant is changed. And then the CIC will request you for an entire list of documents. You update that through your portal. That's how it can be added.
We also have a question where a lot of people have asked, Vishnu, like, you know, when the PR application is going on, or once they receive the invitation and they're getting married, or even before they got the invitation, their profile is there. They've created a single, but they're planning to get married. Like, what is the next step that they do that they can avoid a misrepresentation in the final stage?
Just inform the CIC, that's all.
Okay.
That's all. Anyone, so when you submit an application, you receive one letter, AOR. It very clearly says that if you had a change in family status, if you lose your job, or if you had a baby or anything, like change in the application where you have submitted one, it's now changed, you just have to inform the CIC. Once you inform the CIC, if it is like your application is already undergoing, CIC will just request you to add the family member. They will send you the document checklist, which you have to submit the application for.
Because I've also seen people, they get married, but they do not change the application because they're concerned if they add their spouse, the points can go low, right? So they wait till they get the PR, but then they registered like the dates of the marriage during the application. So
that's a misrepresentation.
Yeah. So do you have an advice for them, or like what they can be looking out for?
So once you submit your application, from that date until you receive a COPR, if you get married, it is registered. it is your prime responsibility to update the CIC. If even one day before of your ECOPR you get married, unfortunately, you have to inform the CIC. Yes, your application will be delayed, but there will be no point changes.
Okay.
So in express entry also, once you receive an invitation, then you wanted to add your spouse, there is no point changes.
Okay.
But if you did not mention that, and now you got invitation, now you got a PR, and now you say that no, during the process I got the PR,
Married.
there is a you got you got married in between there. Now even your PR can be revoked under the misrepresentation.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's
It's a very wild card, huh?
yeah. So again, be honest, be ethical with a CIC application. Don't hide anything. That's my request to every CAN family member.
Okay, we have Bardi who has asked, is machinists come into manufacturing sector for PEI?
Yeah.
AIP?
Yeah, so it's a Prince Edward Island
Oh, okay.
Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. But now the point is, no one knows. The machinist can go under tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, depending upon your duty. So first of all, what's the name?
Bardi.
Body. So yeah, body, you need to first of all identify what knock code you are in, and then you have to go to the AIP side if there is any restriction. Just to be honest, it comes under the industrial kind of thing. I don't see any restrictions on the AIP side for the industrial sector knock codes.
Okay, we have a question from Vinith who has asked, is there any upcoming OINP draws for international student stream?
Very soon. In 1 year, usually 3 to 4 draws happen. Till now, we reach April. There is no draw. But anytime the draw can start or resume, I would say. So just wait for it. If your score is more than 80 points, you have a higher probability of getting an invitation.
Okay, all right. Going to
We done with the questions there?
We'll come back.
Okay.
We can get back to it. We have a question asking a question from Akash Murali. He's like, is it possible to change job to upper tier within organization once the AIP endorsement is approved?
Definitely possible. But my recommendation would be once your AIP is approved, Akash, right? Yeah, Akash Murali, try to first of all put your PR application. Once you submit your PR application, you can get promotion. You can accept the promotions, that's fine. But just do not change the employer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Working as a prep cook in a retirement home right now. Question is, when is the best time to create an express entry profile, and when is the best time to apply for express entry? In my case, if not express entry, which other pathway is the best for me?
So I believe I already spoke to this guy there during the seminar time also. So I have recommended him because he have 2.5 years from back home. I requested him to get a 6 more months of experience from back home online or go in person so that you can gain that 6 months of experience. The reason for that is he have 2.5 years of experience. If he could have got 6 more months of experience, he will get 50 points for the foreign work experience, which is very significant points. Other than that, I have already recommended him that if he go on a work permit, try to find any tier 0, 1 to 3 job, start working, and in between try to do your CELPIP CLB9 or like PTE CLB9. If you get that, he's sitting around more than 520 points. Easy way to get a PR.
All right, I have another question. Just need a confirmation about what you said, a scenario where if you had to leave Canada, you still be able to work in field related to healthcare or whatever field that supports PR from outside Canada, and that work would count for when you apply for PR. Talking about having the experience back home.
If you go back home, okay, so there are different knock codes which may need a license here but may not need a license there. So for example, you are a mechanical engineer and now you wanted to go and work in a welding. First of all, here also you don't need a license, but it is way more easier to get a welding job back home, painter job, tile setter job, or even the PSW job. It's something don't need a license here, but as well as it don't need a license there too. But other than that, if you're looking into like a individual who studied mechanical engineering and now working as a mechanic, here it need a license, but back home it don't need a license. So if anyone, unfortunately, your work permit is about to expire and now you're forced to go back, don't feel bad. I would strongly recommend to that particular candidate, feel free to go back home, try to work on your IELTS, try to learn French, but in between, try to gain the 6 months of experience under one of the category-based express entry draw and try to claim the points so that your express entry profile is updated, if a draw comes, you can still able to apply for a PR being back home. So in that way, yes, you left Canada, but you can always come back as a PR.
Okay, we have another question who's asked, hey Vishnu, I've heard that there's an update regarding work permits. It seems that if you complete an 8-month program, you will be eligible for an 8-month work permit, and if you finish 2 years diploma, 16 months, you might receive a work permit for about 16 months. However, I'm not entirely sure if this rule is officially in place. What are your thoughts on this?
So first of all, I will ask you, show me the link. So, guys, remember one thing: rumors. Whenever you go and talk to someone, there is a community surrounding to us. We just wanted to see us stressful, in a depressive stage. This particular rumors is coming from there. Like, okay, there would be one time when you only studied for 8 months, you will get 8 months. So right now the rumors was going on that, okay, even though you have studied in a postgrad work permit approved courses, still you will not get a PR, or still you will still not get a postgrad work permit.
Okay.
But now the point is, who told you this? If someone tells you something, always request, okay, what is the source link? You go to CIC website. If you don't see that, don't even believe that. Just remove that from your database of your memory, because that is something which is a part of a rumors. Or even someone put this kind of video, try not to share, because once again, even though you are not trusting that, but you share that with 10 of your friends, automatically one of the student who may not have a ability to do some research, he may go into depression just because he believed that news. So please do not support the rumors. That is something which you can do to prevent this all false rumors. And definitely there's nothing like that which is said in this question. So no, right now also, if you study for 1 year, that is 8 months program, you still get a 1 year work permit. If you study for 2 years, that is a 16 months program, you will be rewarded with a 3 years of work permit.
All right, to the next question. I applied for my work permit extension based on my spouse's PGWP in September 2024, but we were initially issued a work permit for 1 year in 2025, and later submitting the 3 years, submitting the web form, my spouse got the work permit for 3 years. Would I be eligible for the 3 years work permit extension even though my spouse does not have the tier 01 job?
No. So now, once the regulation is implemented after 21st of January, any application which is submitted now that need to have a tier 01 full-time job, or it need to have a tier 2 and 3 in selective SOWP approved now codes. Other than that, you will not be eligible to apply for a spousal open work permit or spousal open work permit extension.
Okay, all right. And we have another question. Is that I have foreign experience of 2 years, 1 year in a company A and 1 year from company B. Company B is closed and I will not be able to provide more documents from them. So my plan is to not use the company B experience. Will this work? But I have not declared then in my study permit application. Will that be a problem? Please advise.
Yes, so very simple thing. Even if you have a 1 year of experience or 2 years of experience, in express entry, you are still gonna get 26 points. So if you have a company A experience, which is more than 1 year of experience technically, then you can just use the company A experience letter, and then you can move forward, do a submission. When you create your profile for the points, in experience, you can only mention about the company A, but after you receive an invitation, while you are submitting your application, there would be something called as a personal history. There you have to inform about company A, company B, unemployment period, then you came to Canada, everything you have to mention it. If you mention everything properly there, you will never face a misrepresentation. It's all ethical.
All right, we have another question. Can I add my foreign experience, which I did not include in my study permit application?
Very good question, and I believe the answer you know very well. Unfortunately, you cannot, but there is a small exception. For example, if it's a genuine experience, you have a pay stubs, you have a bank deposits, you have an offer letter, you have all the supporting documents. Then yes, even though it was not added in your study permit, you can able to do appeal on that application and explain the CIC officer what is the reason that you have not shown that in your study permit. But kindly note, only if it is genuine. Other than that, if you are putting any experience and you don't have a bank presentation by saying that, either you are lying now on a PR application or you already did a misrepresentation on your study permit application. Both the things will harm you. So please avoid.
Okay, and Vishnu, we have a question. I was just thinking about a follow-up question when you said this. A lot of agencies that work in, like in abroad, they kind of like recommend you not to mention about your masters or this 1 year experience that in your application because it's a high chances that you can get a refusal. For those applications and those people who have genuine experience or people who have done genuine masters program, so what is there like an alternative, like you said you can raise a like a web form, is that possible in
It's
that
not raising a
application?
web form. It's like while you're submitting your PR application,
Appeal.
you need to add an explanation appeal application where you have sincerely before the CIC find out that okay, this is a misrepresentation. You tell your side of story that okay why you missed it. But once again, even though you go through, so there are two kind of application. Okay, one which is submitted by you or your agent. If it is used by GC key, unfortunately you lose the privilege because there is no representative on your file. When you are going through any non-licensed consultant or immigration lawyer or someone who is not licensed or don't have a registration with the IRCC, if they put an application, they will be using GC key, which is making you that okay, making the CIC believe that the GC key is used by you and you submitted the application. Whereas when you go through any immigration consultant lawyer, we technically have our own portal, so we don't use GCK at all. So when we submitted, CIC know that okay, it is submitted through a consultant or immigration lawyer. That time, if something is missing, if someone told you to hide the masters or experience, you do have a privilege to say that okay, it is done by the application is done by the licensed immigration consultant or lawyer, and they have told me to not to mention it. That's why I didn't. So like your side is clear. But most of the time when you are applying for study permit, it might be definitely through some agency in back home, and unfortunately they submit an application like you submitting the application, you lose the privilege for appeal because CIC will say that no, we don't see anyone's representation on file, it is done by you, so it is your responsibility to check that.
Hey Vishnu, what are the criteria to bring spouse for people who are in work permit? I'm planning to get married and my partner is from India.
Congratulations if you're planning to get married, good thing, but always remember one thing that you need to follow the new regulations. So if you're getting married and you wanted to bring your spouse to Canada, two ways. One, if you're on work permit, you need to have a tier 0-1 knock code job, 2 and 3 with selective knock codes, which you can look into it. But other than that, if you're not getting the job, now the second thing is you can try to include him into the PR application and then get him a PR. But unfortunately, without this, there is no third option. Either directly getting a PR and then bringing him, or a work permit. You need to follow the new regulation.
If you get a PR, you're of high demand.
Then you can get married after
Shark.com
that.
premium, like, PR in Canada.
Literally, one of our employee, I'm trying to do that. Holding a PR card and saying that, finding a group.
Not me. Don't look at me. He
Already married.
He
Already
just
married.
pointed, not me.
Already married.
Okay, next question. We have a question from Akash Murali. He's asked, is it possible to change? We asked a question. Easy Football has asked, applied OINP in August 2024, but still it says decision processed since 1 month. My work permit expires in June 12th. My agent says that you need to get a new LMI and renew your work permit. Is this the right thing to do?
Again, Easy Football, I would say follow the recommendation of your like an agent. Again, if it is agent, okay?
Don't cheat on them.
That he might have known about it. So Easy Football, let me make it very clear to you, okay? Because he knows about your file, trust him. But now, in your situation, already if the OINP submitted and your work permit is about to expire, if your representative is the immigration consultant lawyer, let them do an appeal on your PNP application too, and mention like let the OINP know that okay, the applicant's work permit is about to expire, so need a decision faster. One thing about the OINP is if it is a non-express entry based PNP, then they do have a certain provision where they can expedite the process. But again, right now they are not fulfilling that promise. It's still going on around 4 to 8 months for a non-express entry base. But for express entry base, I do have a clients who submitted their PNP application in last April and May. They are still waiting for a decision. So it's very unfortunate to see that OINP is taking longer than usual time to process one application, especially those applicants like you whose work permit is about to expire are really suffering because of that. But long story short, you should trust your agent's advice. Otherwise, I may need to look into your documents to give you a better comment, because you're on closed work permit. It's a little bit more tricky situation, because if I tell you something without knowing your background and you leave this job or something happen, you may lose your PR also. So once again, brother, try to talk to your agent who is dealing with your file. He would be the right person to guide you.
And don't tell Vishnu told me to do a null.
Don't hurt anyone's ego. Again, very important thing that whenever you're requesting, try to make it in a way that it's humble. Some people take it offensive, and if you take that, you will have to go through all the stress. Let's not go through that. Talk to your agent in a good way. I hope he can able to tell you what is the possible ways.
And for all those who had joined us for the seminar, guys, the chat is still open. I hope if you had scanned the QR code, you can even ask any follow-up questions that you wanted to. If you have any follow-up questions to the questions you have asked, you do have another 10 minutes in your time. You can we can refresh it. We're looking into it. So make sure if you have any questions, make sure you ask us. All right.
Just let me make one thing clear. Those individuals who came for the seminar, please use the QR code which we have displayed there, so that we can get into a separate note. We will be answering your doubts and questions priority wise. The online one on YouTube, yes, we are going through, but only we are gonna reply into a selective now, because we have another appointment around 6 o'clock, so we have to leave soon from here. So please, this live session is specifically for the session what we had today in Ottawa. So please, anyone and everyone who visited us for the seminar, the QR code, scan that, and you can just put your text message there of your question. We will be answering that in priority base. And rest everyone, I understand it's already Saturday. Next week also we will come live, so we will take your questions there if we missed. But otherwise, you can comment the same question below the live when we post it. Definitely I will give you the answer in a response in a text message.
All right. Varghese says thank you, bro, for hosting us in hosting us in Ottawa. Thank you so much.
See you soon for the dinner.
And Easy Football, thank you. All right, we have Atira who has asked, who says, hey, you guys are really helpful. You could conduct one session only for questions. This is a question answer session, Atira, and I know you've been joining. She's actually one of our followers who just keeps joining us for everything, single live, consistently. So thank you, Atra. Your question is, is 480 a good score for health draw? When can I expect a health draw? My work permit would be expiring in the next 5 months.
So Atra, hopefully there should be a draw coming. 480 is a really decent score. Still, if you wanted to increase the probability of your PR, I would strongly recommend you to improve your CELPIP or IELTS score so that you can go beyond that. But if not possible, then you are just waiting to have a healthcare draw. Definitely there would be one draw very soon, anytime. Especially I'm expecting that to be happen near to the election, but it's been now 4-5 months now. We are expecting to have a draw for sure. But like I said before in the starting of this live session, a lot of things are political. So we have to wait to see when even the normal CEC draw is coming. Healthcare, then the other category-based express entry draw, it's unpredictable as of now, but 480 is a really good score. You just need to wait. You don't need to do anything.
All right, we have a new question. When we get an offer from company, how do we check if tier level and knock code, and how do we know which knock code is best for express entry or for PR?
Okay, so now knock code selection is very easy. Even you contact me, I'm going to do the same thing. So now how the knock code is found is, a knock code is ruled out based upon the duties. It doesn't based upon the job title. If it is too different, then you can add an explanation letter that your employer only give that title. But once again, you need to match 90% of the duties from a particular knock code, and you need to look into the lead statement. Very important that whenever you type like any knock code, just Google it. Okay, any knock code, whichever you are thinking that you're close to. Knock code like 33102 NOC code. Okay, click on that, submit it. You will find it one link, Stat Canada. Click on that. three things are important in that page. One is lead statement. The lead statement would be the first paragraph before the title is displayed. Second one, you need to look into the duties of that particular knock code. And third one is the employment requirement. You need to look into all three of them, and you need to get qualified into all three part of it, because the lead statement will tell you what all employer sectors are qualified for it. Duties will tell you what are the duties which you're supposed to perform under this knock code. And third one, employment requirement, will tell you that, okay, do it need license, or what kind of background of education you need, and everything. You can look into that. If these three things are matching, you are good to select that knock code as your occupation. But it needs a little bit of research. But most common is in Canada, if you have an experience, your title will be matching with your knock code. But if it's outside Canada experience, there are chances that you may need to do a little bit extensive research for that.
All right, we have another question. Hi, Vishnu. I graduated in food and nutrition management program. Based on this, I am able to get nutrition manager or food service supervisor in a long-term care or hospital or any healthcare facilities. Does this come under healthcare category, and what year will it be?
So now the point is, to this particular individual, that let me tell you, the knock code need to be fine. So if you are a nutrition manager, first of all, you need to look into what is a knock code. That knock code decide that whether you are in health category or not. It doesn't matter that you are working in long-term care. Sometime the manager title go under the white collar job. It is excluded from the healthcare. But same time, if you are working as a nutritional manager, but that knock code falls directly under the dietitian or something like that, yes, then it may come under. But you need to look into your knock code, and you need to identify whether that particular knock code, that 5-digit number, is there in a category based express entry or healthcare. If yes, you're good. If no, unfortunately, you're not.
All right, a couple of last questions. I have created an express entry profile with 2 foreign work experience in 1 year each. Should I remove the company B experience? Any update on the profile? So for personal history, should I provide proof of experience, or only for experience included in the profile?
Okay, so when you claim the points, okay, so I would say, if it is possible, book an appointment with me. I can explain you in detail what I cannot tell you online, but let me tell you honestly what you should do. One thing, you should claim a point for only, like when you're creating a profile, you're only mentioning about the company A. Once you receive a PR, then when the personal history part come, there you can mention about the company B also. But other than that, I would say, talk to me. If I can able to meet you somewhere, it would be great. But if I see you, I will explain you about the plan B, what you can able to do, so that you can able to claim the point for the company B too. But if you are first year, so how many years of experience do you have?
2 foreign years experience.
So yeah, if
two places, one year each.
One each. So I would say, just don't take even stress. Okay, just make it very simple. Just mention about the company A in your work history, and you're good to go.
All right. Should we include the part-time experience during study permit and personal history for PR?
No need of that. So while you are a student, so you are already mentioning that time period as a studying. So if you're mentioning that you're studying, part-time is not even need to mention, because that has no points for the PR. If it is a full-time, like for example, between the 2 courses, if you're working somewhere full-time, you need to mention that.
Okay, Vishnu. Well, you want to just wrap it up?
Is done?
Yeah, almost done.
Done. Okay, cool.
We'll just wrap it up with last quick answers. Okay, just we'll try our best, guys. We're gonna try our best if we can, because we do have time restrictions.
6 o'clock, I have to go for another appointment. Sorry for that. But once again, like I said, every week we are doing a live session, so we will take your questions there. If any urgent question is there, just put it on super chat. Then we will able to comment it. But just let's do
rapid fire. All right. We have Vinith who has asked, as PSW and working in community, I've already submitted for a file for PR under the home care support pilot program, but now I'm also eligible for student OINP as well. So should that person apply for that as well?
It's going to be under the misrepresentation, because you already submitted under 44101. CIC knows about it. Kindly remove your profile from the OINP.
Okay, my wife is working as a child care educator as a part time at tier 2 job and will and like 24 hours now. So can I apply for SOWP and with her PGWP with the hours and payslip?
Hi, Canadian Diaries. Nice name. So what you should do is try to request your wife employer if they are ready to give her 30 hours per week. If they are ready to give 30 hours per week, collect at least 3 pay stubs with 30 hours per week, and then you can able to submit a spousal open work permit application.
The Ali has asked a question which is very relative to what today's live is mainly about. Is there any alternative options if AIP is closed in New Brunswick for foreign skilled worker?
Foreign skilled worker, I would say then go with PNP. If your employer is supportive for AIP, request them if they are ready to support you for the PNP. That can help you.
And we have Pritish who has asked, what about someone who applied for endorsement in Feb 2025? AIP paused. Will it make any impact on it?
So now the AIP is paused. If you submitted your endorsement letter, you are already in that poll, so you're safe. But once again, if the application is complete, you can expect the positive approval. If it is incomplete, then you can just get the file back. You may need to apply in 2026.
Okay, we have Nitin Chahal who's asking, so my company paycheck says I'm working 29 hours on 1 week, but it says 40s in the next week. So how will I count the hours if I'm taking paid time off in future? Is it gonna count in my experience?
You need to go with average weekly hour. So if you're working for 40 hours 1 week and second week 29, your average is still around 35 hours per week. You need to mention 35 hours per week. Good to go.
We have Akash Murali. Is there any possibility the IRCC will resume work permit extension like they previously did?
Okay, Akash, to be very honest, don't want to give you a sugar coating on this. It was done during COVID. After that, it's been 2 years, no work permit extension. Don't rely on the work permit extension. Try to get your PR faster. That is a solid and final solution for it.
Okay. Graduating. Okay, we have another question, Vishnu. And St. Ignatius family, guys, we are going to wrap up the live. Last couple of questions for you guys, so make sure you just do it right away. I'm graduating in May 2026 and planning to visit India after that. When is the best time to apply for PGWP? Should I apply before going to India and then come back after it, or should I apply before returning to Canada? What's the best option to avoid
I would say
any
look
issues?
into our last live session.
Yeah.
I have explained in detail about what should be the action plan. So look into last Saturday's Break the Rumors. There I have explaining about this question in detail. But let me tell you, to be honest to you, if you have a valid visa and permit, you can travel and you can come back anytime. But still, I would humbly request you to look into the last week live, Breaking the Rumors. You will get exact answer to this question.
Okay, and we're going to wrap it up, Vishnu. We have St. Ignatius team letting us know. Thank you so much for answering the questions. Have a great time in Ottawa.
See you soon. Dinner is there today, so looking forward for the whole church committee member to meet you guys soon. I do have an appointment at 6, so I will be free by 8.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. So guys, if I think there's one, couple of more, but do we do it? I think there's just one more. We can
Yeah.
do it one more. We have a little girl who has asked, my brother has his PGWP rejected. Is there any way that he can reapply if it will be, or will it be approved? I think the problem is that he failed in one class and had to take part time in one semester. So is that a problem?
Hi, little girl. Again, I need to see the document. It's very sensitive and complicated case that already the work permit got refused. Usually, I would not say this, but to you, if your brother is interested, he can contact our office. I need to do a document review on him, that to see what all documents he has submitted and what is the reason. If the reason is not proper, we can re-appeal and we can reopen. But if it is genuine, then there would be a chance to submit a new application properly with all the explanation. But it depends upon why he got a refusal. I need to see the refusal letter. I need to see all the documents submitted. So it's little bit legal side. So I would say contact our office or contact any other immigration firm who can able to review the document and tell you what can be done.
Why is document review, like especially for a rejection, a very vital important step?
Okay, so with me, to be very honest, let me tell you. Can Immigration is a small family business, so we are not commercial that I take your application, I can send to the agent and they fill the forms and they do the submission. I have to do a submission. And second thing with me is we will very ethical to you. If the case is possible, like again, if I sign you up, if I tell you to do something and you do that, it's my responsibility that, okay, you should be getting your PR. But if it is not possible, I would be very honest to you to tell that, okay, no, don't do this application, or even if you want to do, you can do by yourself. Document review is important because now when a case gets refused, without understanding the reason and the documentation what you have submitted, if I sign you up and say that, okay, you pay me this much and I will do the application, but still I need to understand what was the reason. If it was something critical, it's your prime responsibility to ask, or it is my ethical responsibility to explain my client before the sign up that, okay, what are they looking into, what are the probabilities, okay, whether it will be possible or not. And that's why document review is important, where we technically educate you what can be done, what you have done which was a mistake, and what we can do specifically to make this application approved. So that's why document review is very important. If you wanted my service on any kind of refusal application, new application, it is one of the compulsory thing.
And the girl has one final question, Vishnu. How many days does he have to wait until he have to reapply for the PGWP after refusal?
He can apply anytime. That's totally fine. But please kindly note one thing. Don't try to reapply without understanding the reason for the current refusal. Because if you reapply, so we have time. Yeah, just okay, 3 minutes. Let me explain you. After you complete your program, it's just me, man. I cannot leave without giving an answer. Sorry for that. So let me tell you. Once you complete your program, so for example, if he complete a program in September, he have 6 months to apply for a postgrad open work permit. So if he applied in September, but he received a refusal now if you submit a new application and that decision is gonna come, for example, after 6 months of the pass out, unfortunately, there is no other way that he will get a work permit. So look into that. If it is within 180 days, it is possible that if we put a proper application, he may get an approval. But please consult with any immigration firm. Look into the refusal reason. Look into the IRPA for the regulation. If there is a chance to reapply, or even you can reconsider the same application if it is a mistake by the CIC. We have did a lot of application in December when we see a lot of individuals got a postgrad open work permit refused, spousal open work permit refused. We have reappealed by saying that this is the IRPA regulation, but it is refused. It is a biased decision. CIC is very good with that. They reopen the application. So understand and then take the step.
And one last question for little girl. You gotta let us go.
Yeah, so little girl, yes, he has to stop working immediately. Now, if he don't have a study permit valid, he cannot work until he get the work permit approval.
All right, that's everything. Hope your answers was good. Thumbs up if Vishnu answered it.
I really wish you should be having a happy and successful life in Canada. Try not to make yourself complicated by following the rumors.
That's everything for today.
Okay, guys. So happy weekend. We will be sharing some photos on our Instagram. We have started our vlog channel now. So in upcoming week, you can see our vlog about this whole travel to Ottawa session. Whatever we happen, you will see there. Hopefully by this, we just wanted to spread some positive vibes and make you believe that, again, we are a part of Can family and we take care of you. Don't worry. If you have any other doubts or question, wait for the next live or contact our office. We are there for you.
All right, that's everything for now. Should we wait? How do you say bye in French? Au revoir, because we are close to Ottawa, so we should go like French.
Bye bye.
Au revoir.
Simple language.
Bye.
Even baby can understand that. Bye bye. Take care. Have a great day. See ya, guys.